fun. So
I was at my brother's house for the Super Bowl, and his cat was awake all night and then meowing at me early in the morning. Oh,
Rusty's a morning cat. He's like
I
zipping
think we're
all over
online now, or it might be recording us.
the
Okay, hello. Welcome to our office hours with Colin Mustful and with Melissa Makarewicz.
house.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello, good to see you for the second time this week.
Yeah, and why don't you tell people what we did earlier this week when we saw each other?
Yeah, so we had a workshop with History Through Fiction. We did Substack for authors. It was fantastic. We had so many amazing authors on there asking questions, really doing a super deep dive into Substack, all the features that it has, and how you can really utilize it to grow your author platform. So it was fantastic. It was a little bit techy in parts and getting into the really behind the scenes of how Substack works, but it was a lot of fun, and I know we've had great feedback already from people that enjoyed it. So good
Yeah,
week.
and sorry right there. I don't know if you noticed the sound was coming through twice. I opened up the
Yep.
Substack and had to mute that. But anyways, yes, it was great. We actually didn't get quite as far as how to do a live, but we covered a lot of information. It was about an hour and 45 minutes, and it is available. The replay is available on the History Through Fiction on my Substack. So if you are a paid subscriber, you get access to that workshop and to all of our workshops.
Yeah. It's a great bargain for the workshops, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to kick off this week talking about? I know you said you had a discovery call that you wanted to talk through a little bit and share with us what went on with that.
Yeah, so one thing I offer is free discovery calls. It's basically a free consultation, and you could be at any place in your writerly journey. I'm open to meeting with you, talking with you, giving you some guidance. If it works out that I'm the right person to help you and you want to hire me for something, that's great, but that's not my ultimate goal. My goal is to help writers, help authors, and point them in the right direction. So I had a really awesome call earlier this week with someone who lives in far western Alaska, like on an island, and they want to become a writer. It sounds like they want to do memoir, but the reason I bring it up, I was really impressed that this person was thinking ahead enough to ask these questions because, as I've made clear, if you follow my Substack, I was extremely naive when I started writing. I just quit my job and started writing a novel and thought everything would turn out great. Well, it doesn't work like that. And so this author was like, this is kind of my idea. This is where I want to go with it, but I'm not sure how to do that. And so we were able to talk about what all her options are, what the paths are to publication, to her ultimate goals, and the various ways to publish, and also like who to look to for help because it was memoir. I don't write memoir, but I worked with in my MFA with one of my mentors, Karen Babine, who does memoir, and a few other people that I'm kind of able to say, well, why don't you look at what these people are doing, see what you can learn from that, and then go from there. But it was just, I was just really impressed that this person was felt confident enough in themselves to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Will you help me?
Absolutely. So if somebody is looking to do a discovery call with you, what's that process? How do they get in touch with you? Is there a special form or just go to the website and contact you?
Well, you can go to my author website, colinmustful.com. I have a services page. You can book a call there. I have historythroughfiction.com. I have a services page there. That's my publisher website, and you can book a call there. And I've also launched the narrativeguild.com that we're officially launching it on March 1st. But there we have a collection of editors. So if you're looking for someone else within a different genre, within a different skill set, there are four of us, but you can find me there and book a discovery call as well. It's through Calendly. It's really slick because I just link my Google Calendar to this Calendly and it'll block off time when I'm not available. So it's really easy to find a spot that is flexible with your schedule.
Yeah, I love that. So people can kind of get an idea of either just what to do or how to work with you through a call before they like know which area to commit to.
Yeah.
It's great.
So let's talk about what you're doing next week. We did one workshop last week, Substack for authors. Now we're going into your author funnel blueprint. What's an author funnel?
Yeah, so oftentimes, I have authors come in and they're like, well, I started this a little bit and I've got this little bit over here, and I'm not sure why my books aren't selling, and how do I reach people? And it's kind of like semi-organized chaos. And so with the funnel, we're really intentional about how are we leading people through a customer journey, just like a big business would. We want to be like business minded in this and think through what's the user experience. So if someone finds you through Instagram, how is that connecting with them? There's different touch points in the journey. So maybe this is the first time that they've seen your account as an author and they're trying to figure out what genre is it that you write? What are your books kind of about? We want to learn how to connect with that person. Then we also have the customer that's maybe they've read one of your books, they love it, and you want to be letting them know that you have a new book coming out. How are you connecting with them? So we're really going to be thinking through the different types of readers, where they're at in their journey, and then how you're using each of your platforms, which will look different for everybody. Right now, everybody has TikTok and everybody's Facebook. So we're going to take the ones that you have and work through 5 funnels to be bringing people in, ultimately leading to sale or read through in KU, grabbing a lead magnet to sign up to your newsletter, all these different pieces of the puzzle. So it's a smooth process to be growing your community, building your sales, all with intention.
Well, so we were actually talking about this before we started recording, the idea that just because somebody sees you online, like there's so many, they're flooded with writers on all different kinds of subjects. So talk more about what that means. Like how many touch points do you need, and how do you keep it all aligned so you're bringing in the right people?
Yeah, it used to be 7 touch points was like the big one that everybody talked about. It's so many more now because we're so flooded with content all the time. So that's out the window. I forget the last number I saw. It's like 50, 100 or something of times that people need to see your content before someone might go ahead and decide to buy your book. So this is that part where you work smarter, not harder. Of if you're just posting on Instagram and, like saying, this is what I've been up to today, that's not leading anyone towards a sale or helping them to understand better who you are. But if you're talking about the themes of the book that you have and how you can connect that to the reader of, I mean, it's coming up on Valentine's Day. Maybe you write romance and you're doing a little like cupcakes that match your book covers that you're baking or something, and you're showing it in an Instagram reel. And then you're calling out the tropes that you have in your book. So it's easy for people to connect and that they see a cute little Instagram reel. And then it's like, oh, I love to read friends to lovers. I love next door neighbor tropes. Like it ticks those boxes for them. So they don't have to go do the searching to find out what your book is about. So you're just kind of leading them through that way. Maybe if it's for historical fiction, lead magnet around the Civil War, we want to not say, sign up for my newsletter. Okay, I've already signed up for a billion newsletters and my inbox is full. Why in the world would I want to sign up for another one? Instead, we change it to grab your free story around, such and such a battle of local history sort of thing, like for yours, that would lead people in because they're already interested in this thing that is an easy yes for them to say. So we're going to be hitting those touch points along the way of how we can get immediate yes. We can get the follow on TikTok or Instagram because they know the content that they're getting. And like you were talking about, it really helps because when people already know who you are, then it's not hard to lead to the next point. But if I land on someone's feed and I'm like, well, they might be writing horror, but they might also be writing mysteries or thrillers. Like I can't tell exactly what this is. Then I'm either going to become frustrated and just scroll to the next video, or it's too much work to try to figure out what it is, what's your book. It's too chaotic to lead me easily through the funnel.
Yeah. Well, you just covered a lot there. So the workshop, I assume, is going to can be kind of broken down slowly. You said five
Yes,
steps. So
absolutely.
that's going to be next Friday, and it is available if you are a paid subscriber to my Substack. I have a link. I publish the Zoom links to our workshops on the second of each month. So if you go scroll down to Zoom access or workshop access is what it's tagged under, or
Yep.
you can register individually via Eventbrite. If you search History Through Fiction on Eventbrite, you can find it there, or go to historythroughfiction.com/events. Lots of different places to find it. But yeah, that's awesome. And so I talked about a little bit about what you're talking about. I brought up in my post that I published on Wednesday, and that was actually our profit and loss statement for the year for History Through
Yeah.
Fiction. And the reason I mention it is because in 2019, I brought in $9,000. In 2025, it was over 100,000. And all of it is about that funnel and
Mm.
um, kind of maintaining the integrity of the stuff that's going out there,
Right.
so that people, more and more people are funneled into what we're doing, and it translates into revenue, it translates into engagement over time. So it's just really awesome for me to see that funnel work. Even though at first you put stuff
Yep.
out there and like, gosh, I got 3 likes and one of them was my mom. What am I doing? Where is this going?
Sounds liking it.
So yeah, there's real value there. It just it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time, but as long as you have a plan and can stick to it, I think that it works.
I think we see in anything in life, if we don't have a plan, things are normally falling apart, whether it's like, getting the kids off to school or, trying to plan a solo packing, backpacking trip or whatever it is you're doing. Like you have to plan for things. So, building your author brand is exactly the same. If you're not planning, what's the saying? If you're not planning to fail, failing to plan, planning to fail, whatever the saying is. So it's definitely I think it's gonna be helpful. And also I just wanted to say for our workshops, like you have really highlighted this. And coming to them live is a great way to be able to ask your questions, whether it's your workshops and writing and publishing or my workshops, for people to be able to connect with us and in real time ask questions. Although we're absolutely available in so many other places if it's not live, but just a little bit different experience. So I would highly recommend people sign up for our workshops and join us live if they can.
Yeah. Um, and speaking of workshops, we
The
have,
conference.
yeah, the conference, which has, I think I counted 27 different sessions. And speaking of planning, so I have right here, this is called a banquet events order.
Oh
And,
my goodness.
and I had to go through and like verify all this information. It's a lot of logistics. But that's what I was working on that this morning just to make sure our schedule matches up with the conference schedule. But so much great content. And talk about value, you can subscribe to our Substack to get access to those Zoom links. Well, we have 27 sessions here. If you sign up for the virtual conference, that's like $3 a session, $5 a
Right.
session that you're paying for.
Yeah. I'm sure I've spent $3 on worse things in life than learning from a workshop. And there's going to be so many amazing people. I wish I was going to be able to be there live, like next one for sure. But can you tell us a little bit about like who's going to be there, what the offerings are, what we're going to see for workshops?
Yeah, so first of all, when I was trying to figure out how to do this, I didn't really know. I just knew that you go to conferences, you have some keynotes, you have some big names, people that draw in attention. So that's what we did. Robin, Henry, and I were like, okay, who should we invite to this conference in historical fiction? So we got Fanula Austin, who is going to be our keynote speaker. Fanula is really interesting because she published a great book called Bronte's Mistress. I think
Love
2020
it.
it came out, and she's
Yes.
been shopping her next manuscript and has not found landed a deal yet. But in the meantime, she does marketing. I know she used to work for Meta. I don't know who she works for now, but she knows the digital marketing side of things. So she has just a ton of insight as far as landing a book deal, and then the rigmarole of after that trying to figure out how to get your next deal
Yeah.
and marketing. And she has a blog called the Secret Victorianist, and so a lot of great stuff from her. And she's going to be teaching a workshop. She's going to be doing our keynote speech. Then I reached out to Sarah Penner, of all people. Sarah was on our podcast before her first novel came out, and she's been very gracious ever since then. But she's going to be doing like a social media workshop. She's also going to be speaking at giving some of the opening remarks. And Sarah Penner is a multi-time New York
Yeah.
Times bestselling author. We have
Yeah.
Madeline Martin, who is also a New York Times bestselling author and is just a really amazing human. Like she's just so fun and so cool and so interesting. Um, and Addison Armstrong, and then we have literary agents coming like Jessica Berg and Kate McKean. Our acquisitions editor, Robin Henry, is going to be accepting pitches. So it's going to be a great time. And we also have this pre-conference virtual day called Prologue Day. There's going to be 7 sessions. This was set up because we had so many people that submitted a call for proposal to present at the conference, and we just couldn't fit them all in. So we're doing a variety of sessions on Prologue Day, March 18th, 7 of them actually. Those are all going to be on Zoom. But if you register for the conference, you get the Zoom links for each one of them. You can also register individually, but a lot of really great sessions there.
Absolutely. And I love that it also has that option to, I think, are you fully booked now for in person, or is there one spot left?
One
There was
spot.
one spot, and somebody needs to take that spot. But I love that you can virtually attend as well, because sometimes it's hard to take time off of work or get away from obligations or whatever, but like it's still, you can be a part of that history through fiction community, and take part in all the amazing workshops that are going to be going on.
And we do have quite a few people watching us now. If you have any questions at all about any of these workshops, any of the sessions, drop them in the chat and we'll talk about them.
Is there any tip that you would give to someone if they haven't gone to a conference before, of like, keep this in mind, this is a need to know, as someone that's gone to other conferences?
I would just say don't try to do too much.
Okay.
It's pretty overwhelming. There's a lot. Well, as I just showed you with this
Yes.
banquet event order, like I as the director of the conference, I have to make like a minute by minute schedule. You, if you're attending the conference, just focus in on 4 or 5 things per day. Give yourself some rest in there. Don't feel like you have to meet everybody and do everything because it'll take a lot out of you. But
Yeah.
you also want to take advantage of it too, because these things are rare and they're not cheap to travel
Right.
there and to
Yeah.
do that. So show up, be ready to learn, be ready to listen, be ready to meet people, but also give yourself some grace and some time to rest. What
Absolutely.
what have you been to any lately?
No, I haven't been to any conferences. Oh, I've been to like our Columbus main library in the city does a huge, more of like a book fair slash conference. So I've been to that, but it kind of really got into everything COVID, like right before COVID. So there was an opportunity, and then still have a teenager at home, so life gets busy and crazy and stuff sometimes. So I think the next few years, I'll make a point to really start trying to get out to some more conferences and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I would love to go to the Historical Novel Society UK conference. That's going to be in August. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, but that's a great conference. And so anybody
Absolutely.
out there listening that's into historical fiction, the UK conference is in August of this year, and it should be great.
Absolutely. It's just really nice to meet people too. And I think also like have flexible expectation. I will say I've been to virtual conference sort of things. And even with that, like you kind of plan your whole, like, I want to be at this one, this one, this one. And then you end up having to watch them after the fact because you can't get to every single thing. And it's also like tiring to take all that information constantly. And you need like a little breather of something different rather than running to each one back to back to back.
Well, we have about 10 minutes to keep chatting. I don't see any questions. So let me ask you some questions about book marketing. We had The Water Lilies of Mishapeshu come out last month. We have The Choir coming out this month. You're working with both authors. Talk about the launch period and how you guide authors through that. Like, what are your main suggestions for what to do when the launch comes about?
Yeah, so I find it's different for everyone because everybody has different amount of time that they're investing into it, whether they're like working a full-time job or they're totally dedicated to their book for a space. So I really think again, it's like all about that preparation. Mm, taking the time to work through like what the main tropes that you're trying to highlight to people. What is your elevator pitch for your book? Because if even if you're talking to family, friends, people that you're meeting at the coffee shop or whatever, like you want to be able to succinctly tell them what your book is about rather than rambling on for 5 minutes about, well, it's kind of a little bit about this, and then it goes into this time period, and then this is also in it. So take the time before your book is launched to figure that out. Another tip I always give people is it's great. People love like movie connections to stuff. So if you can say it's this meets this, it kind of helps to give people like a frame of reference. Um, like I mean, you could do if you're doing like historical, maybe it's like trying to think of ones off the top of my head. Like Downton Abbey meets Gettysburg. So it's like, okay, it's got some war aspects, but we got some like upstairs, downstairs sort of, setting going on. And instantly it gives you like a picture in your mind of like, okay, I can kind of get what this book might be about. So that's really helpful. And then I think picking what is going to be your focus for your online marketing. So is Substack the place that you're leaning into? Okay, what are the posts that you're going to be doing for leading up to your launch and then like the next 3 months after your launch? And really focusing on the themes that are leading people to be interested in buying your book, making sure you're talking about your book and promoting it. Like at the end of your post is a great way to do that, now available sort of spot without making it so overt in the actual post itself. Um, so if you have the content plan around that, it makes it easier to just kind of flow through that content as you're writing it and you're not scrambling each week of like, oh, what am I writing for this week's post? Oh, it's Friday, I need to get something up. It's intentional. And then just looking for opportunities along the way of, or is there someone you can collaborate with on Substack? If you're on Instagram, do you want to set up a book tour with somebody so you can be promoting your book to a larger market around that? Um, pick what works for you. And oh, this is just a call I had with someone last week. Actually, two people. They're like, should I be on this platform? Oh, somebody told me YouTube is a really good place to be. Should I be on YouTube? And I'm like, you need to think this through first of all. Like, let's talk about all that goes into you creating YouTube content. You're already saying that you're at your max for the time you have available to be creating what you need to do. So be honest with yourself about how much time you have for creating, and rather than diversifying to a bunch of platforms and then having mediocre content go out and you don't have the time to engage with people, you can't reply to comments, they're just sitting there. Pick the two that you're really going to focus on and grow your audience on those. Spend your time around your release day to focus on the people you can collaborate with, the relationships you can build, and then just kind of keep the momentum going from there.
Had a conversation with our intern earlier this week. He put together some ideas, including doing some YouTube shorts, and I kind of talked him out of it because that's not where his skill set and comfort level lies. It's like what, first of all, it's going to be really challenging for you. Second of all, we don't really do YouTube shorts. What are
Right.
we going to gain from that? So we talked more about what are you comfortable with? Where does your skill sets lie? So I think that's really important to remember. Like you don't have to be everywhere, just be where you're comfortable and where you'll get the most engagement from your audience where you fit
Absolutely.
in.
Yes.
And
So many times people say to me, "Oh, so and so said like this is the place I need to be." And it's like, well, did you think through if that's the right place for you to be at online? Like if I ask them to do something on camera, it takes like weeks for them, to feel okay with filming it. So maybe posting to TikTok daily is not going to be the best strategy for you, but you could like write every day on Substack and you're happy and you're feeling creative. So do what is your comfort zone, not something else because everybody telling you that's the place to be.
you also brought up book tours and collaborating with other authors. So our author, Bren Barano, she has a book coming out in May. She lives in Atlanta. And as I was doing podcast for season 10, I had all these authors that are down in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina. And so I connected Bren with those authors. I know for sure she's going to be working with NJ Mastro, author of Solitary Walker, and also with Catherine Scott Crawford, author of the Miniaturist something.
Yeah.
Um, and that's in, is it Greens? It's in South Carolina. But anyways,
Yeah.
oh, and then she's also working with Lynn Cullen, and Lynn Cullen
That's right. Yeah.
I had on the podcast.
Mrs.
Um,
Poe. She's got so many good books out.
So they're doing events at bookshops together she's doing them with each of these authors, and that's amazing because it brings in more people. The bookstores love it because they know there's a bigger chance to bring in people, and like it's easy to just reach out and ask and see what kind of connection you have with these authors,
Yes.
and it's just like exponentially grows your potential for getting events and selling books and then building connections after that.
I think people don't highlight the importance of networking in the side of being an author. Like, people talk about, oh, it's like such a solitary thing to do, and you're at home and you're writing. And it's like, even if you're not going out and doing things, if you're online, building those connections leads to opportunity after opportunity. And then you can also help other people, which is really rewarding over time. And you want to be like the person that can help connect everybody because then it comes back to you over time as well.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to ask about, and that all that you talked so much about the marketing to do during that launch period. You mentioned a call to action, and I don't know if you use that word or not. I just did this for my Substack post that I scheduled next week. At the bottom, I listed a specific call to action for my book. So can you just briefly talk about like, yeah, your content that you're writing might not be directly to, hey, buy my book, but then you should always have that CTA at the bottom of some kind.
Yeah, so I just in so many different ways. So maybe say you have a historical fiction book and there's a scene where they're eating at the table and you love like the history of food, right? So you do a Substack post and you're talking about, the history of seasonal eating and things that they have on the table and canning and all of this that goes around it. You can use that post as a topic that might be featured in your books to use that. And then your call to action, that's the thing that you're leading people to do, is then, if you love the history of food, check out blah, 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 my book. Where I deep dive into, seasonal eating highlighted through the characters, like let people know what they're getting. And then having your cover is fantastic. I think it's great to always cater a little bit visually to people. And then I love the custom button on Substack, so I'll do that. And then whatever, if you're leading them to direct sales, Amazon, um, if you have what is it, books to read link, however you might be doing it, just pop it in there and make it super simple for people. So somebody reads that article and then they see, oh, that was really cool. Oh, that's in this book. All I have to do is click in this one spot. It takes me there. I can add to cart and I'm done.
Yeah, it's such a kind of a delicate balance. You don't want to be hard selling all the time, but I find it's nice that if you just put a little divider line, you put a call to action, you do want to invite them to do something if they like your content, subscribe to you or whatever the case might be. So I think it's important always just to add that in the bottom of whatever content that you are posting.
Absolutely. If you don't tell people the why they would be interested in it, then it's like there's a billion books out there, like how many millions being published all the time. But if you give it's almost a teaser to it, whether that's the reel or a TikTok or a Substack or a Facebook post of kind of highlighting the excitement of what the book is, then it's a softer call to action to then lead them to buy. If they're interested, here it is. You can check it out.
Yeah, and as we end our office hours this week, I want to thank everyone for joining us. And I'll add a call to action. Think about joining Melissa for your author funnel blueprint. It's next Friday at the same time. And it's going to be really useful helping you to direct readers to your work and your book.
Yes, I'll add a call to action. Somebody grab that last spot for the conference. We need a sold out conference here. So somebody do that or join virtually. I'm really excited to be joining.
I've actually closed it registration a couple times, but then somebody's like, "Oh, my cousin's getting married. I can't make it anymore." And so then I cancel their refund their registration and reopen it. So yeah, that's why there's one left. But even if you can't join us in person, please consider joining us virtually. If you use the coupon code Writing Revolution, you get $30 off registration.
Perfect. See you again in 2 weeks, right?
Yep. All right. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.